How would you feel about a remote-controlled security camera recording you in the living room of a rental home? According to my next guest, there are gaps in Queensland's legislation when it comes to the use of security cameras around the home, making it difficult to find a balance between the right of a homeowner to security and the risks to our privacy. Travis Schultz is a lawyer on the state Sunshine Coast, and he joins me now from Maroochydore. Travis Schultz, you say there's this gap in the legislation when it comes to the use of security cameras around the home. Can Airbnb hosts and the like, for example, have recording devices in their homes?
Well, as the law currently stands in Queensland, Gemma, yes, they can. Cameras are prohibited in places where a person would have a reasonable expectation of privacy, such as a bathroom, a bedroom, a change facility. But as it presently stands, there's really no impediment at all to a homeowner having a camera in a living room or dining room area.
And I know this is different to laws in the EU, for example. What's lacking in our laws, essentially, that makes it a bigger problem here?
Well, in Queensland, we have legislation which prohibits a person from recording a conversation to which they're not a party through use of a listening device. But that doesn't apply to use of cameras that don't record sound. And so as it presently stands, we have a situation where there is no legislation which precludes someone recording inside the home, other than in places where there's an expectation of privacy. Now, that's a problem when you're talking about homestay industry arrangements with Airbnb stays and organisations like that. Those companies have contractual terms with the homeowners which require the homeowners to disclose the presence and the location of any CCTV or other hidden cameras. But that's a contract only between the homeowner and stays or Airbnb. It doesn't really help the visitors much when they find out that they were unknowingly recorded at some later point in time.
Yeah, so it's not against the law in that sense. So if someone were to record footage of a person or an image, they could lose their rights as a host with Airbnb, for example, but won't have necessarily committed a crime.
That's correct. And the big problem is that there really is no effective recourse for someone who feels that their privacy has been breached through being unknowingly recorded. And we've seen a number of cases of this happening recently, not just in Queensland, but around the country and in other countries around the world, where people have discovered that they have in fact been recorded. They weren't aware of it. And a big problem is that it might be disclosed in a booklet left on a benchtop by Airbnb, but who actually reads that stuff?
And if someone takes your image or footage of you, do you then have a right to ask for it back?
No. See, as a general proposition, if I take a photograph, I'm the owner of that, no matter who the subject was. Now, there are of course, some limitations on the ability to take photographs. For example, there are laws protecting children, and obviously in places where privacy would be anticipated. But if I go to the beach or I'm in a public place and I'm not trespassing and I take a photograph, I'm the owner of that. And the subject doesn't have the right to ask me for my photograph back.
What changes in the law are you looking for?
What I think we need is certainty. We need in Australia a discussion around what is the right to privacy. We have no general right to privacy. So we need a conversation to be held around what is reasonable, what are our community standards, what are our expectations, so that our legislative, the Parliament, can introduce laws which reflect what the community says are appropriate standards. I know for my part, I don't want to be filmed when I'm in a hotel, in a motel, an Airbnb or somewhere else where I would be expecting to have a degree of privacy. And I'm suspecting I'm not alone in that regard.
Yeah, I suspect that's the case. Travis Schultz from Travis Schultz Law, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Gemma.